Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Friday, August 29th edition of our video devotionals, and we appreciate you being with us today. Hope your Friday's going well. It is the end of the work week, end of the school week, and of course, as I count the weekend, Friday and Saturday, then of course Sunday being the first day of the week, you've got Sunday with church. All that being said, hopefully you're going to have a great weekend, and it looks like weather-wise for us anyway, very nice weather. And then, of course, it's the end of the month of August here, and that means, Lord willing, if we're back on Monday, then guess what? It'll be September the 1st. Hard to believe. And that'll be Labor Day. So I don't really have a Labor Day message for you today, but hopefully you have a good Labor Day because I know many of you will be off too. We'll do a devotion more than likely. I say that because it may end up I have something planned that I don't have planned yet, and we may not have one. But for the most part, we even on holidays, we usually do have a devotion, so plan on it on Monday, okay? All right, so we're going to be in the book of Jeremiah here. We're going to be in Jeremiah 25, verses 11 and 12, and then Jeremiah 27, verses 6 and 7. Then I'm also going to have a quote Galatians 6, 9. Of course, you can turn there if you want to, but initially we'll be in Jeremiah 25, verses 11 and 12. Appreciate you praying for Christy's mother who had her surgery yesterday. As the report goes, usually those surgeries go well as far as trying to accomplish what they did, but they did have to cut deeper than they thought. And then, of course, the results will come later. But thank you for praying for Christy's mother. She appreciates that. Well, let's jump into it, okay? Jeremiah 25, okay, verses 11 and 12 say this: "And this whole land shall be desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. Notice that 70 years, verse 12. "And it shall come to pass when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it perpetual desolation." So if you've ever heard your preacher speak or in a Sunday school lesson hear the 70-year Babylonian captivity, well, that's it, 70 years. All right, then notice Jeremiah 27, and look at verses 6 and 7. It says this: "And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him. And all nations shall serve him, and his son and his son's son, until the very time of his land come. And then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him." All right, we'll go to Galatians 6:9 just a minute. Basically what it's saying is, and here's my point today, is there's with God, there's certain occasions where there's just simply a time period that's going to be accomplished, timing with God. And in this case, the children of Israel are going to have a 70-year Babylonian captivity. The Bible says that. God says, look, Nebuchadnezzar, his son, and his son's son, there's going to be a time, and then that's going to end. And God says, I'm going to use Nebuchadnezzar, and even the Bible uses the language, he's my servant. So God says, I'm going to use him to accomplish what I want him to accomplish, which is this judgment upon his own people. And then God says, that's going to end. It's just like when the day ends, and we look at a clock and go, well, it's time is up. Just like when many of you go to work and say, look, when 5 o'clock comes or 6 o'clock, whatever your time is, when that time is up. And so there's a lot of timing in the Bible. But here's something practical I want to give to you in light of timing, okay? Galatians 6:9, I'll just quote it for us. It says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season ye shall reap if ye faint not." There's a due season. It's just like probably in the spring I mentioned, or I guess it was the spring, around planting time. You plant a seed, that seed turns into a plant, has fruit, and then it yields its fruit, and then that's done. There's timing. There's a time period, and there's a time when that ends. So what I'm saying is, if we're serving God and doing the right thing, God says, don't be weary in that well-doing. Because sometimes you say, man, what am I getting out of living right? Have you ever thought that? What am I doing, doing all this right, all this adherence to things? Does it really, what does it yield when it looks like the world's doing all their thing? They're not serving God. It looks like they're having a great time or whatever. And but there's a due season. When sin is finished, it bringeth forth death. But I know this, if you'll just keep serving God, keep doing the right thing, God says that if you'll continue on, not faint, not quit, then in due season, there's a timing, then you're going to reap if you faint not. So there, think about it that way. But think about all the times in the Bible where there is a certain time period, and God says that's going to continue, and then it's going to end. And so think about that. God's in charge of that. So hopefully that helps you. Keep serving God. Keep doing right, okay? And it's not only the right thing to do, but you know what? There is a reward, and God says due season. There is a timing there. All right, we're going to stop right there. Hope you have a great day, safe day, healthy day, great weekend, great Sunday. When we come back on Monday, Lord willing, it'll be September the 1st, another whole brand new month, and we'll just continue on, okay? Have a great day.